this is Roxana, and I decided to bring my kids to the park after work today. So I'm sitting here in my car looking at them, and I thought this was the perfect time to be able to talk to you without interruptions and basically just introduce myself again. I know it's been a while since I started posting on YouTube about my journey, so I want to tell you who I am and what has made me choose to share my story with all of you. Like I said, my name is Roxana, and I am 36 years old. I am a mother of two. I am an independent travel agent. I am a Lime Life beauty guide. I am a daughter, a friend, a sister, a cousin. I am a lot of things, but that doesn't really tell you who I am. So I remembered that when I was 12, I wrote a verse or a short poem that said, I am a lemon with a twist, a flower full of mist, a damsel in disguise searching for her meaning in life. And you can say, wow, that's deep for a 12-year-old. But I guess I always questioned what my purpose was, what my reason for being alive was. What did I have to do? What should I do with my life to make it special or meaningful? And truth be told, I don't think I ever figured it out. When I grew up, I'm not going to say I was the most popular kid, but I never struggled in school. I went to a great school, to a great community. I had amazing friends, most of which have been my friends since I was 4 years old. Some of which I still speak to this day, and that I still consider my very good friends. I come from a very close-knit family. I'm originally from Puerto Rico, but I've been living in Florida for the past 5 years. Like I said, I am a mother of two. My sons are 8 and 9 years old, and they are my everything. They are my reason for everything. They are the reason I wake up. They're the reason I go to bed. They're the reason I work all the jobs and do all the businesses that I do. Is because of them, and because I want to give them the best of everything. And that's not always monetary. It's also education. It's also a good upbringing. It's also giving them a close family. And I mentioned this before in other videos that I've posted on Facebook, that sometimes I wonder if them being my everything is the right thing. If an 8 and 9 year old should have to carry the burden or the weight of my happiness. I mean, aren't I supposed to be teaching them to be happy, how to be happy with themselves, how to live a happy life, how to make the best of things? And I don't know. I think that sometimes I put too much pressure on them, and the fact that they're the reason why I do things, and that they're the reason why I wake up in the morning, like I said. So to tell you a little bit of how I got to where I am, and why I decided to have weight loss surgery, and why I decided to share with all of you. Like I said, I wasn't incredibly popular, but I did have a lot of friends. I participated in a ton of activities. I was in a fabulous school. I was involved with everything and in everything. And then after I graduated high school, I started feeling lost. I enrolled in school, and my family went through a bad period economically, and I dropped out of school. I didn't like the school. I dropped out of school. So my dad didn't want me to stay home. Keep in mind, my family has always said that I'm very bright and super smart, and that I would do great things. They've always had these big plans for me, and I always thought I would do these incredible things. So I dropped out of school, and I didn't feel good about myself at that point, because I thought I was letting them down. I thought that I was giving up on myself. I thought that I wasn't living up to the expectations that they had. And in some way, I thought they would love me less because of it. It's not true at all, but that's how I felt. After I dropped out, I started working. I started working for my family when I was 18, 19 years old. And I was good at my job, and I enjoyed working because I enjoyed helping people. But I didn't date. I didn't go out. I was always heavy set. I was always heavier than my friends. I've always mentioned that I wasn't able to shop where they shopped. I didn't, go out drinking. I didn't participate in most of the activities that they participated in because I wasn't confident enough. I wasn't popular with guys. I'd never really dated. I never had a boyfriend or relationship. I mean, I think I told you in a previous video that my first kiss was, we were drunk. I was 17, almost 18, and we were staying all together in a house. And we were playing hide and seek, and so that one of my friends wouldn't fall into a hole that was in the ground, I pushed her out of the way. I fell in the hole, fractured my ankle, and I limped the whole weekend with an ice bag tied around my ankle. And that's when my first kiss happened. It was in secret. Nobody knew. I mean, some people suspected. They were, kind of watching through the door. But it wasn't anything that was out in the open. We didn't have a relationship. He wasn't my boyfriend. I cared about him a great deal. We're still friends to this day. He'll probably be embarrassed that I'm talking about this because it embarrasses me as well, but whatever. We were just friends. Then at 2021, I met my now husband online. So we never really dated. We met online. We talked for months. He was getting divorced. I sort of helped him through it. And then I decided that I was going to move to Miami. So he was in Miami, so I decided to move to Miami. And I came to Miami for a week, ended up staying for a month, found an apartment, decided to move here. 10 months later, a year later, we decided to get married. We got married. We tried to have a baby for 4 or 5 years. It didn't happen. Then when I was about to give up, and I was extremely disappointed because I always wanted to be a mom. That was like my biggest dream ever, was to be a mom and have my own baby. And it wasn't happening. And it was putting a lot of pressure on my marriage. I was putting a lot of pressure on myself because I thought I was the one to blame for not being able to get pregnant. I did every test imaginable, and it wasn't that. It wasn't my fault at all, but it just didn't happen. So when we were about to give up, I was about to give up. I was about to give up on my marriage. I was about to give up on everything. Give me a second. My son's coming over. I was about to give up on everything. I had given up on myself. I had given up on the possibility of having a baby. I had given up on everything. Then one day I was late and I took a expired pregnancy test that I had at my house, and it came back positive. And it was the happiest moment of my life. And my son, Santiago, is the light of my life. And 11 months later, his brother joined the world, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't have one baby, and now I had 2 babies. Santiago wasn't even a year old when Nico was born. And that was tough too. It was difficult. It was difficult on me. It was difficult on my marriage as well, because it was a lot of responsibility, a big economic burden, a big change. And I started feeling lost. After Nico was born, I started feeling lost. I don't know if it was postpartum depression that went undiagnosed. I honestly never sought help for it. I'm an expert at hiding things, at hiding my true feelings. I mean, I'm able to put on a mask, and I did that for a very long time, and I was incredibly unhappy. On top of that, in 2011, my grandmother, who was like my biggest cheerleader, my biggest supporter, a person that could truly see me. She was someone that could see the best of me, and she knew everything I was capable of, even if I couldn't see it myself. So she had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's a couple years earlier, so I started losing her bit by bit. But in 2011, she was gone. And I felt completely lost. I think that deepened my depression greatly. Again, I didn't seek any help for it. And I felt completely lost. And then I found someone that helped me reconnect with myself, that made me realize that I wasn't doing anything that made me happy, that I wasn't happy, that I was meant for more. And it makes me nervous to talk about these things, but for a minute, I was completely happy. I was thrilled. I was excited about the possibilities. I was excited about the future. I was excited about how I felt. I was excited to feel happy, to feel joy, and to feel like myself again. But then I started, second guessing myself, and I started doubting if any of what was going on was even possible. If it was possible for someone to really love me. And I don't know why, but I've always doubted other people's capacity to love me. And it's not because of them. I've always doubted that someone truly love me. Not because I'm a bad person, because I'm not. Anyone that knows me knows I'm very giving and I'm very kind and I'm always there for everybody. But because I never had these relationships with men that were very affectionate or that were very, I don't know. They weren't the fairy tale that I always expected. They weren't the fairy tale that I always hoped for. I second guessed myself and I second guessed everything, and we got trouble, and then my husband and I separated, and we were separated for a year. We started going through the whole process of divorce. And then I realized that I wasn't being fair to my kids, that maybe going after what I wanted was being selfish. And like I've mentioned before, they're my reason for everything. So I was wondering if it was fair to them that because I was unhappy, I was going to break the family or the household that we had created, and we called off our divorce. But that didn't mean I was happy. I had started finding comfort in food. I ate when I was happy. I ate when I was sad. I ate when I was celebrating things. I ate when I felt disappointed. I ate when I felt alone. And even though I was surrounded with people, I continuously felt alone. And I used food as a coping mechanism and to satisfy the voids that I had within me. And I continued to do that for years. So in 2014 or 15, I started really researching weight loss surgery after one of my friends from work had surgery. And I went through all the hoops for my insurance. I did everything my insurance asked me to do, and I was denied. And then I said, well, I'm going to do it out of pocket, but I wasn't able to afford that. So I had to wait. I had to wait a long time, and I didn't have surgery until 2017. And I'm not going to say that bariatric surgery is a miracle, because it's not. But bariatric surgery, in a way, helped me find myself again. I noticed that as I was losing weight and I was looking different when I looked in the mirror, I started feeling better, and I started finding my voice, and I started to smile more, and I started to remember the girl that I used to be, the girl that I possibly never shared with anyone because I was too afraid of being rejected. So I started finding this girl again, and I started finding this confidence that maybe was always within me, but that I was too shy or too afraid to share because of how I looked. And I'm not saying appearance is the most important thing, because it's not. Because if someone had seen who I truly was and how valuable I truly was, maybe things would have been different. But I don't think I gave others the chance to know me because I was afraid of being rejected. So it's a circle, it's a loop. I didn't put myself out there, I didn't share myself, but I was also sad that people weren't trying to approach me, that boys, men weren't interested in getting to know me or hanging out with me or loving me because I looked different. But truth is, I really wasn't giving any of them the possibility of really getting to know me. And that's where I'm at. It's 2019 now. I had, like I said, weight loss surgery in 2017. I am only 5'3". Well, I'm really 5'2.5". I give myself that extra half an inch because, rounding, I can. So I'm barely 5'3". I was 285 pounds. You can see, if you look at my banner, you'll see some pictures of me. There aren't a lot of pictures of me from 2013 to 2017. And it saddens me now that when my kids are older or when I'm no longer here, my kids are not going to have a picture reference of what I looked like or of me participating in their life because I was too embarrassed of what I had done to myself. And I don't mean what I had done to myself in the sense that I ate myself up to 285 pounds. I mean that I hid myself from the world. I stopped participating in their life and I stopped participating in mine. I allowed others to write my story. I allowed others to control what I felt, what I thought, what I did. And I wasn't happy about it because I always had this voice. I've always wanted to share so much of myself, but I was just too scared. So 2017, I was 285 pounds. I had this surgery. The day of surgery, I was 271 pounds. And I stopped breathing. In the recovery room, I stopped breathing. I had surgery with Dr. Fred Simon and Dr. Srinivas Kaza in JFK Bariatric Center in Lake Worth. And they were amazing. I had amazing care. But in the recovery room, I stopped breathing. And that was scary. I didn't notice, honestly. I didn't notice, obviously. But when my mom told me that they had called her and my sister in to the recovery room and they had been told that I stopped breathing, it scared me. It scared me to think that what would have happened if I hadn't woken up? What would have happened to my kids? What would have happened with my life, with all the plans that I had and with the fairy tale that I dreamt of? I hadn't done anything with my life. I wasn't who I wanted to be. So it's 2019, like I said. I've lost 106 pounds. I'm 170 pounds right now. I'm not at my goal. My goal is to be 140 pounds, and I can't remember the last time I was 140 pounds. But that's my goal, and that's what I'm pushing for. But more than the number on the scale, I'm pushing to look in the mirror and finally see the person that I've always known I could be, the person that's always been in my head, the person that's always been in my heart. And I'm working on this to show the world, to show people that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be flawless. I mean, look at my hair. I'm doing a video, and I'm going to post it on YouTube for the world to see. And I have absolutely no makeup on. I have nothing on my face. This is me. This is my bare skin. I just finished working and I just drove my kids and my little neighbor to the park. And this is who I am. I am a mom. I am a hard worker. I am a kind person. I am smart. I am valuable. I am a lot of things that people have never gotten to see. And I regret that I didn't see myself before. I regret that it's taken me so long to realize that it wasn't really about my weight. It was just about me being scared. I mean, the weight loss has certainly helped, and I'm hoping it will continue to help. But this journey has become about so much more. It's become about me taking control of my own life, about me writing my story, and about me finding what truly makes me happy and fighting for what makes me happy and for the things that I've always wanted. I'm a hopeless romantic, and I can't say that I'm willing to give up on my fairy tale ending, because I'm not. I deserve that fairy tale, and I'm going to fight for it. And one of the things that, like I said, I regret is that I didn't allow a lot of people to see my true self. And that some of the people that did see me and that did like the real me, that did love the real me, don't get to enjoy this. I'm getting emotional. Don't get to enjoy me at this point, because they're no longer here physically, and others are just no longer here, period. I think I have so much to give, and sometimes I think that I deserve so much more than what I've settled for. I think I've settled in all aspects of my life. I was too scared. I settled for less in everything. And some of the opportunities that I had are opportunities that I'm never going to have again. Some of the things that I experienced, I may never experience again. And I will always regret that. But I have to look forward. I have to keep pushing, because that's something that I do. I push on. I go against everything until I can do what I want to do. And until I can make magic happen. And I often do that. So I've lost all of these opportunities and all of these things and experiences that
Mom watched a video.
So I regret missing out on some of the experiences and on some of the things that I really wanted. And I just want to say that the people that have been with me and that have supported me throughout this journey mean more to me than I could ever say. And I am looking forward to maybe a new opportunity, maybe a new possibility to have them in my life, to finally have what I always wanted and what I was so afraid and to fight for, and what I tried to give up on. But a true romantic doesn't give up on fairy tales. She fights for them. And I always fight. Yep. That's Carter. He's my neighbor, and he just he's said he wanted to take a break and relax in my car. So that's who I am. I am a mom, I am a fighter, and I am finding my confidence and rewriting my story. And I hope you follow me on this journey, because I promise I am going to be open about the good, the bad, the ugly, and I want you to help me rewrite my story. And I want you to stay with me as I rewrite my story. Thank you.